find that when bad things happen to you, they have a tendency to knock you for six, really hit you harder than you would expect them to? Do you find that it gets you down? Do you find you start to get a bit depressed when things don't go your way? And is it starting to affect your confidence? Do you feel less able to get back on your feet and have another try? If so, then Stoicism may be of interest to you. So what is Stoicism? Well, it's an ancient Greek philosophy, but please don't let that put you off. The dictionary definition is the endurance of pain or hardship without the display of feelings or complaint. It's a way of looking at the world and what's going on in the world and to yourself with a sense of honesty and looking at the logic of the situation, and all of these things are to build your resilience. Now, resilience just means how strongly you bounce back after something bad happens, and Stoicism is a really good way of supporting that. Why should you care? Well, Stoicism isn't necessarily going to solve any of your problems on a practical level, but what it does is it helps us cope with them much better, and it helps us come back much stronger, makes us stronger individuals, much more resilient. How does it work? Well, there's a lot of writings and additional material on Stoicism, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to give you the express checkout version. Stoicism essentially says that there are only two things you can control: your thoughts and your actions. It's a much more realistic way of looking at the world. So you could do all the right things and whatever you're working on fails, or you could get lucky and it just works out for you. You can't control that. It's an element of luck. Now, once you accept that, it might not be very reassuring, but once you accept that, it sort of takes the pressure off a little bit, doesn't it? Because sometimes we say to ourselves, I'm working so hard at this, it has to succeed. Or I've put so much into this, it's got to work. And the world just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Okay? You can do all the right things and it still fails. It's not necessarily your fault. That's just the way the world is. And that's what Stoicism says. Derren Brown called it a sort of tactical pessimism. You accept that this could fail, this might not work. And in accepting that, we kind of then informs our decision making. Do I still really want to do it? Believing that if we just have faith, the universe will somehow work in our favour is not realistic. Rather than this has to work, it might not, but I'm okay with that. I'm going to have a go anyway. Stoicism is about good things happen and bad things happen, and when bad things happen, we kind of accept it. We kind of almost expect it, because that's the nature of things. Is sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. So when they don't, we shouldn't get too upset about it. It's the same as walking out of your front door in the morning and it being raining and you're upset that it's raining. You can't really do a lot about it. You've just got to deal with it. And that's what Stoicism is about. Now then, a note of reality to this. If you take it in very simplistic terms, what that can mean is that, well, everything's going to fail, or I shouldn't really put any effort into anything because it could all go wrong. That's not what Stoicism's saying to you. It's saying you still should try things, you still should work hard at things, and you still should care about how things turn out. Just don't beat yourself up so much if they don't. So how do I do it? Well, the key thing is acceptance. It's about accepting that there are big parts of your life and the world around you that you just can't control. It can also inform and should inform your decision making. If you're thinking of doing something and you open your mind to the possibility that it might fail, even if everything's done properly, it might go wrong, then you might decide that you're not willing to take the risk. That's a much more mature and sensible way of looking at things, rather than just blind faith and stepping off a cliff, hoping it'll all work out. But when things do go wrong, we accept that a big part of that is just chance. It's what the Greeks used to call fate. The only things you can control are your thoughts and your actions. In other words, how resilient you are, how much you can bounce back, get back on your feet and have another go. It's okay that that didn't work. That's just what happens sometimes. But we shouldn't let that slow us down. We shouldn't let that stop us, and we shouldn't let it dent our confidence. In the same way that if I walk out the front door in the morning and it's raining, that's not my fault. I shouldn't get too upset about it. That's just life. Occasionally it rains. If you want to know more about Stoicism, and I would encourage you, because I've really raced through it, to look into it a bit deeper. I'll put some links in the text below this, and maybe some links to our other happiness videos at the end of this one. Other than that, I hope that was useful. I hope it opens a door to something that might help you in your future life. Until next time, take care of yourselves.